We are live here, Steel City Renegades, myself and the man who was live at the football game last week, Mr. Chipper Nenendahl. How you doing today, Chipper?
I get crickets for being at the game?
You do.
Oh,
You do.
doing good. It was a good time at the game last week.
I bet it was. And then we have our other host who was joining us from, I think it's Chicago, right? Ain't you in Chicago?
Don't you put that evil on me. We down here in the real Illinois don't claim Chicago as part of this state. I'm about 2 hours south, but good old cornfields of Illinois.
All right, so he's in Illinois, ladies and gentlemen. You got myself, Chipper Nenendahl, and D's. We are here at Steel City Renegades, and we are all in our white away jerseys.
Road Warriors.
Thanks to Chipper and D's for talking me into getting back into this jersey.
Yeah, Dave had to be put back into what the Steelers' routine as far as road jerseys and home jerseys are. So
I put the Minka Fitzpatrick jersey on because I need him to have a big game. And then you guys show up with your Hines Ward jerseys, and I felt left out. At least we all got sixes on.
At least me and D's got the memo about wearing a Hines Ward jersey.
Right.
If I had a Hines Ward jersey, I would wear it.
You got a Sharpie? We can color a big 8 on that.
I mean, I have Kenny Pickett's black jersey that Chipper gave me. I'm pretty sure I can just cut the numbers off that and move it over and make a little 6 on it or a little 8 on it and be okay.
Yeah, but those numbers are white.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, first time for
Sharpie.
everything.
There you go. Color it. Spray paint. Come on.
No, it's kind of a tight jersey, but it's cool. But anyway, Chipper went to the game last week and he got me another terrible towel. So can't have too many of them. I think I got about 14. I think every time I go to a game, I get one.
I should go get my towel that's autographed by your favorite Steelers cornerback.
Don't say his name. Don't
Ike
say
Taylor.
Oh,
Attaboy.
these. Man, I cannot believe
If you don't want it anymore, feel free to send it over to Dave. He will definitely take it.
No.
Hang it on that bare ass white wall you got behind you.
Well, I got some things going to put on that bare ass white wall here pretty soon. So keep an eye out for that. But anyway, Steelers versus the Philadelphia Eagles. We traveled to Philadelphia. We haven't won there since 1968. 65. Jesus Christ, that's been a long ass time.
Tomlin hasn't done it. Cower never did it.
Noel didn't do it.
Noel never did it. Terry Bradshaw never did it. Ben Roethlisberger never did it. It's 60-5 before my old ass was born.
Wow.
Bubby Brister never did it.
Ken
Graham never did it.
Those guys didn't win in a lot of fucking places.
Tommy Maddox didn't do it. He probably sold some insurance to some people in Philadelphia, but I mean. But anyway, Deez, what do you think about this game going into it? I know that it's going to be a tough situation for us to win in.
For me, it's all Saquon. We have got to contain Saquon. I don't believe that we are going to flat out stop him. We did very well against King Henry, so I'd like to see some stuff like that. Of course, the Ravens are also stupid, and they tend to think that they can throw the ball all over the field on us every time they play us, even when they have a great running game. I don't think the Eagles are going to fall for that. I think they are going to just ram Saquon down our throats. Their pass game is struggling, and we know that there's some kind of infighting going on there. It's the most dysfunctional 11-2 team that I can think of. But again, beginning, middle, end, it is stop Saquon, and that's the only shot that we have. If we let him go for 150 and they can control the game and the clock, we are in for a long day. I don't think we are going to be able to run the ball super effectively, but I think if we can collectively get 100 yards between the 2/3 backs, it at least gives us a chance. It's going to keep us on the field for a little bit and hopefully wear down those big, ugly sons of bitches that Philly's got on that front seven, because they're tough.
That's what makes the Philadelphia situation so fucking funny, is the fact that they're 11-2. Nobody should be bitching, but you get the pre-banana wide receiver bitching because they're not getting him the ball.
Yeah, and I mean, every other week they're calling for Sirianni's job. I'm like, what? Are you guys watching the same fucking game I am? Like you're 11-2. Now, albeit if you look at those 11 wins, it's not like they are just absolutely boat racing teams,
It
and
doesn't
they're not, dominating good teams. They are winning, but they're not, I don't look at that team and say, well, this is an unstoppable juggernaut. They can be beat. It's just it's going to be tough. They've got talent on both sides of the ball. I think they're in the middle of the pack offensively as far as total rankings. Defensively, they're really good against the run. I think they're 8th right now. We are 4th. Against the pass, they're right there with us in the middle of the pack. They do have some young guys in the secondary, so they can get got. Sacks, they are, I think, 37 sacks on the league or on the year. But they don't have a dominant pass rusher. I think their leader in sacks has 4.5. They have a lot of guys that can get there, but nobody that we have to go, that's the guy we have to block. So they're going to send a lot of blitzes. They have linebackers that all have 2-3 sacks each. So Russ is going to have to, you don't have to just worry about your left side. You have to really try and figure out where the blitz is coming from. Stay on the field offensively. That's the big thing. Stay on the field, keep Saquon off the field. That's going to be the key.
I agree with you 100%. I think, again, we need to strike early against this team. We need to contain Saquon Barkley somehow, some way. And I think we do need to see more of the Justin Fields package, especially, you're saying that we need the 3-headed monster at running back and whatnot. I still don't understand why we're not running him inside the red zone in a package with him and Russell Wilson to throw people off. I don't understand that. I don't get that. Like, what do you not see in the offense that you can't make that work with Arthur Smith? I don't know. Chipper, you were at the game. Was there anybody talking about Justin Field packages or whatever? What was the talk?
I heard that somebody had said that they should throw in like a one or two plays for him and red zone, but realistically, we did get inside the 10-yard line at least one time. So, yeah, I mean, nothing wrong with throwing in Justin Fields.
I mean, I just don't understand how you don't put it in there as a scheme, even if you need a 3 or 4 yard gain when you're out there on the 40-yard line and you're trying to get Boswell a little closer. Why can't you line him and Russell Wilson back up in the backfield? I mean, you need to throw these guys off. You need ways to find to get your talents out on the field. I went back and watched Chase Claypool game when he had the 4 touchdowns. You guys remember that game?
Oh, sure.
They found a way to get their playmaker open, and he had 3 touchdowns that game and a passing touchdown that game. They found ways to get him open. They found ways to get him to football. Why are we not doing that with our playmakers? I don't understand that. I'm not understanding the concept of Arthur Smith's offense when you have the opportunity to put the foot on the throttle and you keep going when you're just dinking and dunking and running the football.
Well, I guess when it comes to the dinking and dunking part, it's predicated on what the defense is doing to you. Because if you remember the first half of last week's game, that's essentially what he only threw for 46 yards in the first half to begin with, but that's essentially what he was doing, was dinking and dunking, and got some yardage, and I think that's what he might have to do today because of not being able to run the ball.
Well, I don't think that they're not going to be able to run the football.
I do. I don't think they're going to be able to.
Well, I mean, we can see. I don't think they're not going to be able to run it. I think that they need to get the ball across the middle of the field too as well. They got to find ways to get Freiermuth the ball.
Wholeheartedly agree that they got to get Freiermuth the ball.
And they have to get, Darnell Washington had another good outing last week. He had a couple good catches, and Scotty Miller had a good couple catches last week. And our defense, stepped up when needed to. But also, again.
And there was a Mike Williams sighting.
There was a Mike Williams sighting who had 5 targets, 3 catches. Should have been 4, like D says. That penalty was not for the faint of heart for Steeler fans. But
questionable at best.
Questionable at best is like what D likes to say. But I mean, I don't know. I don't know why this offense ain't clicking it as fast as good as it should be. I don't know if he's not calling the right plays at the right time.
Well, how good do you think it should? How much good do you think it should be?
I think that you've scored 27 plus points the last 2 games. I think you need to average that the rest of the year to win games.
Well, with Russ as the starter, we're averaging, I want to say, over 28 a game. And as a collective whole, I think we're averaging like 24 a game. We're right in the middle of the pack, which, hey, that's way better than what we've seen over the last, few years post Ben, and even the last year, 2 years of Ben. So I think we kind of need to appreciate that at least we are putting points on the board. But yeah, the red zone is my biggest concern. We are getting points for sure, but I think we need to capitalize on those red zone opportunities.
Why do you think we haven't been able to capitalize inside the red zone?
That I don't know. I'd like to see Justin. I think that could open some things up in the red zone. Also, part of me thinks that they're keeping some of this Justin stuff in their bag right now. I don't think, and I could be wrong, but I just, something tells me that Mike and Arthur are like, okay, we've shown a little bit, but we don't want to give guys an entire film session on what we can do with Justin. Let's kind of save this until we absolutely need it. Right now, we're kind of coasting along. Playoffs are almost certainty. So maybe we'll see a little bit more of that, come Christmas and when the chips are really down. But yeah, if we solved our red zone issues and at least scored in the red zone, I don't know, at a clip of 60% touchdowns over field goals, shit, we'd be averaging probably 35, 40 a game with Russ right now. That's not the case. So they definitely need to clean that up. But as far as Russ or Justin, I would like to see more of it. But at the same time, if they are holding it back to not give away, too many of the tricks of the trade, then I'm okay with that too, as long as it doesn't blow up in our face.
Chipper, what's your thoughts about why this team is not being so productive inside the red zone?
We've always had issues in the red zone this whole year. Last year.
What do you think the reasoning is? Do you think we don't have the personnel for it? You don't think we scheme for it? You don't think we game plan for it?
I think it's a combination of play calling, blocking, and not having the wide receiver the number 2 wide receiver to go to other than George, because they insist on when we get down in the red zone, doesn't seem like the wide receivers seem to get open. The offensive line can't block enough to get Najee or Jalen Warren the hole to get into the end zone. So and then the play calling by Arthur Smith.
So let me ask you this question, and I know this is a different beast. How is it when Kansas City's down in the red zone, they can score with anybody down there, and they don't have any better wide receivers than what we got? They got Travis Kelce. You see some of the formations that they run. Why can't you copy what they do and run a 3 tight end set and try to get your back out there wide as well? I mean, I'm not understanding that. I've seen some plays
because we don't have a running back that can run wide.
You don't have a running back that you can put out there inside the 2-yard line to catch a pass?
Oh, to catch a pass? Oh, I thought you talking about as far as
running
the ball wide.
To catch a pass, because they lined Kareem Hunt up out there and he caught a touchdown pass last week. They thought they were going to the right side of the field. They went to the left side. I mean, I don't understand why we can't scheme something like that. I mean, you got 3 tight ends in there. You dress 4 for the game. I mean, and you use Ben Skoranek as your blocking, wide receiver. So why are you not getting them the football inside the red zone? You talk about not having a number 2. I don't think that you need a number 2 inside the red zone. I just think you need somebody who can catch the ball and a tall wide receiver. We have that with Mike Williams. We have that with Pat Freiermuth. We have that with Calvin Austin. They're not all tall as Mike, but you have playmakers that can get you the touchdown inside the red zone.
Ask your guys, Arthur Smith and Mike T.
Well, if I had the opportunity to sit down and talk to them, I would ask them.
This is going to sound weird, but I really think that part of the issue could be Russ's height. If you look over the course of Russ's career, the middle of the field has not been kind to Russ, for the simple fact that he doesn't see over those big, ugly sons of bitches in front of him all that well. And that's why he's thrown the fades to George outside, or to even Jefferson or Calvin. When you're packed into the red zone inside the 10-yard line, there's not a lot of field to work with. So you have to find the guy and make the decision right away. And you're talking about a guy that is 6 foot on a good day, trying to throw the ball over top of a bunch of 6'5", 300 linemen. I don't know. Maybe I'm pulling shit out of my ass, but I think that might have something to do with it, that Russ just isn't super comfortable with anything short yardage over the middle like that in a condensed field where literally the entire defense is right there.
Well, can't you line him up in the shotgun and split your guys out to the out so he can see the field a little bit better and not have them
I mean, you could, but you still, when as soon as the ball's snapped, it's just a, clusterfuck of bodies there. And I don't know. I'm just literally spitballing here, but it could be one of the issues that they have. And I think that's why Justin had success in the red zone, is because Justin ain't afraid to just put his head down and go. Whereas Russ, has a little more self-preservation than that.
Yeah. So, I mean, I don't know. Go ahead.
Okay, you guys are saying about the height and all this stuff in the red zone. Going back to his Seattle days from 2012 to 2021, he averaged roughly, and I'm just eyeballing this because he had 26, 26, 20, 34, 21, 34, 35, 31, 40, and 25 touchdown passes in Seattle. So that's roughly 30 touchdown passes a season. So for the height thing to be an excuse or reason, I don't want to necessarily agree with that, because look at the numbers he put up in.
Yeah, but also, I mean, anytime you look at his passing chart, he always he goes outside more. Now, he will hit the middle of the field. I'm just talking about when you have a short field and you only have, 10, 15, at most 20 yards to work with, then you've got the entire 11 of the defense there as well. Whereas, you've got guys out wide. So running down the field, if you're on your own 20, the middle of the field, yeah, it's an absolute possibility. But when you have all 11 literally condensed right there, it might play a factor. Like I said, I'm literally spitballing here. It's just something that I think could be an issue with a guy that is on the shorter side for an NFL quarterback.
Yeah, and obviously those numbers I just threw out, all those touchdown passes weren't all in the red zone, but it's just
right.
He's throwing to DK Metcalf. He's throwing to
Tyler Lockett.
Yeah, guys like that. So, yeah. So it's just, I don't know. Maybe what Dee said about the height thing is an issue. Maybe it isn't. I don't know. It's the NFL, man. You just got to be able to find a way to get the ball in the end zone.
And I agree with you, Chipper, 100%. You have to find a way to get the ball into the end zone and not through the uprights. You got to put touchdowns on the board to win these football games, and you have to put points up, especially against these good teams, because 1 or 2 points could be the deciding factor of a game. I mean, you got to score touchdowns when you're inside the red zone. I know that everybody's all for Boswell and he's automatic, but there will be times where he misses a fucking field goal and we're like, oh, well, should have fucking went for the touchdown.
Well, I'll be honest with you. I think that what you just said could also be a big part of it, is that Mike Tomlin, for all of the wins that he has, I think when they get down there, he goes into low risk, high reward, which, don't take a huge chance. Like if your one read or maybe second read isn't there, throw it away, or, do not take unnecessary risks, because we've got an automatic 3 here. If you try, you get in the red zone and it's pass, you risk an interception, turnover, whatever. So I think Mike gets a little bit on the conservative side, knowing full well that inside the 20-yard line, the Wizard of Oz ain't going to fucking miss.
Yeah,
I think that's a big factor in those play calling decisions when you get down there.
That can only last for so long, though, because you never know. Come next season, Boz might end up being the Justin Tucker.
Agreed. But until that happens, I absolutely can see where Tomlin could make that kind of decision. Like, let's just, take a little bit of the air out of the ball, because number 9 is going to get us 3 here if this doesn't work out. And then we rely on our defense. Can that bite you in the ass? Absolutely. And it has.
I think 3 out of the 4 kickers in AFC North have been having bad years. Tucker, Hopkins, and McPherson. He's had a bad year too.
Absolutely.
And Boswell's the only one that hasn't, which I don't understand what's going on there with the kickers. But hey, as long as we got a kicker that can put it through the uprights and continue to make kicks and whatnot, I'm all for it. But again, you got to have touchdowns inside the red zone. This 3-point bullshit, I get that you got Boswell and you can rely on him, but I'm not liking it. And Chipper, you were at the game. Anybody who talked about, our offense or whatnot, anything you were hearing, any fans you were talking to about how this offense is good at times and then it sputters?
Not really. Nope.
I mean, I don't know.
The good news is last week we had 3 touchdowns. We didn't have six or 9 field goals and only 2 touchdowns. We had more touchdowns than we had field goals last week. So that was definitely a positive. You got 2 on passes, 1 to Freiermuth and 1 to who, even though he barely held on to it. Van Jell.
See, you got to throw that in there. You can't give him the credit that he's got a touchdown.
I gave him a credit. And then
how'd Scotty Miller do, by the way?
He got that. From where I was sitting, I really couldn't see the catch until I saw it on the scoreboard.
Well, how did he do? Since you hate him so much,
apparently he did great. You can give him all your kudos and kiss his ass even more. You love to try to get him as much kudos as possible because he's your boy.
Well, I mean,
it's great that he came up that in the last minute they told him that he was going to play, and he ended up 3 catches?
Yeah, three for 38. Yeah,
I was going to say 3 for 38, and then that clutch catch. So hey, props to him.
And I told you that's why they brought him here. They brought him here to make clutch catches because they seen what he did with Tom Brady and what he did last year in Atlanta. They don't need him to be a superstar. They got him for $1.6 million.
Okay.
He's doing exactly what his contract has him to do. Be a 5th, maybe 4th, 5th, or 6th wide receiver who can catch the ball and get them a possession. That's exactly what they need. And when you get the opportunity to step up or know right before the game that you're going in, then that's what you have to do.
Now, see, the thing I will add in regards to last week's game is it was a pretty offensive game by both offenses. I mean, Russ only had 150 yards passing total. Didn't really throw a lot, and I think was it Freiermuth that had 4 catches? He led the team with receptions.
Yeah, like 4 catches for like 82 yards or something like that.
No. 3 for 30, 3 for 48. Scotty had 3 for 38.
Okay.
Mike had 3 for 36. Yeah, it was 3 was our leader.
So Van Jefferson also had a catch. Skornick had a catch, right? Skowronek.
No, wasn't even targeted.
Oh, Washington had a catch, right?
No, targeted once, 0 catches. Michael Pruitt targeted once, 1 catch for -1. Cordero Patterson, 1 target, 1 catch, -2.
Don't forget about the fumble.
Yeah.
What fumble? Cordero Patterson?
Yeah. I'm getting ready to leave. We got this game wrapped up in lone ball. Oh, and just before that fumble, I was giving the hockey chant because we haven't heard shit about Myles Garrett all game. Just before that, I'm yelling, Myles Garrett. And then that happens.
You dickhead.
I got all kinds of shit from the Clowns fans behind me. They're all like, great timing, thanks. I'm like, fuck. And I'm getting ready to leave because we have it in the bag, and your boy does that.
Hats off to the offensive line, though, because they pretty much shut his ass down. I mean, he did get the one kind of garbage sack when Russ scrambled into him, but whatever they did between the second half of the first time and this game, they really kind of took him out of the game.
Hey, and TJ had a decent game.
He did what he was supposed to.
Exactly. I mean,
he had a decent game.
He had that whatever strip sack or sack in the first series of the game.
So did you guys hear or see what was going on with JJ Watt? Did you guys pay attention to anything that was going on with that or hear anything about it? Because they had Mike Tomlin on his Mike Tomlin show.
He was there Sunday.
Yeah, he was there.
He's been there for the last 2 weeks working in a weight room.
He's not okay. Yeah, his brother's there. He's been there like since JJ retired. He goes to 3 or 4 games a year, and there's always this like, oh, let's get JJ. As much as I would like to see it happen, I think that ship sailed last year.
Correct.
Yeah, I agree.
Correct. But I mean, they asked Tomlin. They said, well, JJ's been here multiple times or a couple days this weekend. He goes, a couple days. He goes, he's been here like 3 or 4 weeks working in a weight room with his brother. And they asked him, well, is there any possibility of, signing him or bringing him in for a playoff run? And Mike's like, oh, we can only afford 1 Watt. Can't afford 2. Jokingly.
Yeah, it was on the Pat McAfee show. And JJ's on there every Wednesday as well. So
yeah. So, I mean, I would assume.
And there really isn't a need for him.
There isn't, but I mean, I think it would be cool for him to at least suit up and play with his brother. I think he'd have a more of an impact than number 44 did. What was his brother's name?
Derek.
Oh yeah,
Derek.
I know.
You have that jersey too, don't you?
No, I don't. You got a James Pierre jersey.
Hey, say what you want. Derek Watt was awesome on special teams.
That's all he did.
Well, but our offense never. I mean, we haven't had a fullback, a use for a fullback, pretty much since Bettis left. You know, once they switched to this different scheme, the run scheme hasn't changed a whole lot, but the zone run scheme, you know, we've gone away from the power I. We haven't really used a fullback. That's why we haven't had one. And the one that we did have, we pretty much used just for special teams.
And yeah, I mean, speaking of that, no Connor Hayward sightings in the last God knows how many weeks.
He played last week.
I'm talking about as far as a run or catch or
Oh,
he's supposed to be an H-back, so it means he can run or catch the ball.
well,
Just
again,
saying.
That's your Pittsburgh Steelers not knowing how to use their talent that they got or the people that surround them. But anyway, get back to the Philly game. We talked about that. Philly, for some reason, behind the scenes, is not getting along with Sirianni and Jalen Hurts and A.J. Brown. I know A.J. Brown, last time he played us, lit us up for 4 touchdowns. We can't have that happen again.
Last year.
Yeah, we cannot have that happen again. We can't have A.J. Brown have a 4-touchdown game. I don't think we can have Philly have a 4-touchdown game. We got to hold them to about 2 touchdowns and 2 field goals if possible. And we need to find a way to win this football game and solidify ourselves as a true Super Bowl contender. I really think so. I think if you beat this team at 11-2, this is kind of a statement game for them because they haven't won there since 1965. If you guys told me before the show, I thought it was 68, but it's been a very, very long time. That's 2 stadiums ago, 3 head coaches ago. Unfortunately, Pittsburgh can't get it done in Philly, or can't get it done against Philly, period. I don't understand why. Like, I don't know what the problem is. Really don't. So maybe Mike Tomlin is a little bit hungrier this week, and Arthur Smith is a little bit hungry. There's some Eagles fans that saying, oh, well, you know, you guys might get to see Kenny Pickett. Please put Kenny Pickett in. Please put him in. Please.
If they do, he won't throw the ball.
Oh, he'll throw the ball. He'll try. He'll try it.
I don't see any shot that this game is a blowout. So if that's what they're insinuating, that Kenny's going to come in a blowout, I don't see that at all. So that being said, if we see Kenny Pickett, then things are not going very well for Philadelphia.
Well, that I heard that they might throw in a special package with him to either throw a ball, like you say, maybe in the red zone.
You know, usually if you would say something like that, I would argue that no NFL coach is that dumb to risk a game to do something. But Nick Sirianni, yeah, I could actually see Sirianni trying to cook up some shit like that, just as
like just like a Philly special with him in it.
Yeah, I could definitely see that happening.
I mean, the tush push, as they like to call it, with him in there. So
yeah,
I don't know.
This definitely will. This game will definitely show what kind of team you are as far as a playoff or Super Bowl. You know, we really haven't played a Super Bowl caliber team as of yet.
Would you consider Philadelphia a Super Bowl caliber team?
Sure.
Even with all the drama that's going on?
As of right now in the NFC, it's got to be either Detroit or Philadelphia.
I mean, they're fighting with each other or whatever, but across the board, they are still, if you look at our schedule, they are the most talented top to bottom team that we have played and probably will play this season. Now, granted, they have some issues, but talent-wise, they're the best team on our schedule.
Well, Marcus Spears said it the best on Get Up. He said that talent-wise, the Eagles are the most talented roster in the NFL.
Correct. I agree with that 100%.
I was going to say I beg to differ with that. I think Detroit is better off, but their defense is
with their injuries, yeah.
I mean, because of losing Aiden Hutchinson, have to pick up people up the scrap heap just to fill deep roster spots on the defense. Yeah.
Well, who did they pick up off the scrap heap besides Quan Alexander? That's it.
No, they picked up a couple different other.
They got the dude from Cleveland,
Darius Smith.
He's not crap.
No, I'm talking about guys that they picked off a waiver agent.
Yeah,
because
they've had a lot of defensive injuries over the last few weeks, and they've just been plugging dudes in, and they're giving up points. But when you have an offense that's clicking the way that Detroit's is, they can literally beat anybody. But again, man for man, top to bottom, as rosters sit right now, Philly is probably the best talented team in the league.
They are. And the window of opportunity is closing big time for the 49ers. They're going to have to make some decisions here real quick on what they're going to do. They're going to have to pay Brock Purdy. They're going to have to maybe make a trade or whatnot for Deebo Samuel or whatnot. So, I mean, you got some decisions that are coming up. I was watching some highlights from Ben's podcast this week. He's got the Steelers ranked as the third best team in the AFC, and he said they could possibly get to the Super Bowl, but he has the Bills 1A in that, and he's got Baltimore, Kansas City 2, Pittsburgh 3, Baltimore 4, Miami 5. Who did he have 6? I forgot. Oh, Denver 6, and the Chargers 7. That's what he had.
it truly is amazing, though, how Philly has turned their season around and gotten that much better after acquiring Saquon.
Well, that's all that offense really needed. You needed a back. They had they were actually really good with Akers. Well, not really good with Akers. They were decently good with Akers, but Akers is not the talented running back that Saquon Barkley is. And I think now that you see Saquon Barkley, I think the Giants were holding him back a little bit, or maybe he's running with a chip on his shoulder to prove them, hey,
well, no,
you signed
he couldn't stay healthy, plus their offensive line sucked.
you went,
Daniel Jones.
Yeah, you got Daniel Jones, and now look what both of them both are gone. So who won that? I know it got stuffed in the fucking Giants' face. I mean, it's their fault. It really is their fault for giving up on Saquon. But again, that's what that organization does. But kudos to Kate Mara. You guys know.
I mean, look at Le'Veon Bell. Le'Veon Bell was the most talented running back in the league when he left here, and he went to a shitty coach with shitty surrounding teammates and faded into obscurity.
Yep, took the money and look what happened.
He says
took less money, actually. I mean,
he says that he regrets every minute of that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, he should.
He was on pace to be a Hall of Fame running back, and so was Antonio Brown. He was on pace to be a Hall of Fame wide receiver, and quite possibly can still get in. Quite possibly.
I think Antonio eventually gets in. I don't think Le'Veon does, for the simple fact that Lev doesn't have a Super Bowl.
That would absolutely piss me off if Antonio Brown got in and Hines Ward didn't.
Yeah, I agree.
I agree.
1,000% piss me off.
I agree.
I would agree too. But I mean, we're not the voters. Look who won the Heisman Trophy last night. Did you guys see that? Travis Hunter. You guys agree on that?
Oh, 100%. Yeah, 100%. Look, Genty is awesome. Don't get me wrong. Absolutely awesome. But when you have a guy that is a star caliber, maybe not the best at the positions that he plays, but star caliber on both sides of the ball, I mean, what's the definition of Heisman? The best player in college football, and there's no question that it is the guy that literally plays every single snap.
There's a lot of people that's criticizing everybody in the Heisman voters because they said that Deion Sanders went out and publicly cried about not getting Travis Hunter's name in the Blitnikoff Award or having him even in the thoughts for the Heisman Trophy, and then he goes out and wins it. But there's a lot of people who are saying, oh, well, Deion did that for him. Well, so fucking what if Deion did that for him?
That's
You're
what
right.
a good coach does.
Yeah, you're right, Dees. He is the best college football player in the game.
Absolutely.
In the game.
And for him to bitch and moan about him being a Blitnikoff Award thing, he didn't put up that great of numbers as far as a wide receiver goes.
No, he was like at the average level. He made some spectacular plays at wide receiver, but as far as dominating the game at that position, no. Was he very, very good? Absolutely. Could he have been better if he focused solely on wide out? Yeah, probably. I think if there's anybody that should be bitching, it's that Shedeur Sanders probably should have been a finalist over Dylan Gabriel.
Yeah. The only reason why Dylan Gabriel is the finalist because his team is undefeated. He's played with like 4 different colleges.
Yeah.
His 7th year of eligibility.
Yeah.
I mean, come see me in 10 years and tell me who has a better NFL career. I'll bet you anything it's going to be Shedeur Sanders.
We'll see because they got him projected going to the Giants or the Raiders, so we'll see about that.
I think if he goes to the Giants, this is just my thoughts. If he goes to the Giants, Deion leaves Colorado to become their head coach because he doesn't want his son to be not successful.
Oh, how awesome would he love that though? Being head coach in New York, the biggest city in America, and all that money and all the media. I mean, Deion would absolutely love that.
I don't think it's all about Deion's ego. You can obviously see that he cares about them kids in that program over there, and he's turned that program around. Whether you like the coaching decision or the hire decision from Colorado, he's turned them around and got them boys to play football, and that's what you need from your head coach. I am fucking surprised that Belichick at 73 years old went to North Carolina. I am very shocked about that. I don't know what his thinking was, but kudos to Bill for doing that and giving it a try this late in life. I mean, you can't fault the guy.
I think that's going to go one of two ways. Within 2 years, they are going to be a national power, or within 2 years, he's going to be like, fuck these kids.
And keep in mind that one of the stipulations in his contract is that Stephen Belichick is the head coach in waiting.
Is he going to pull another fucking move like he did with the Jets if the NFL job calls for him? Like at the end of the season, hey, Steven's already in place. I can resign. Steven can be your head coach.
I would like to think North Carolina has a fail safe for that. Like that's not going to happen if you just.
I'm just saying he's done it twice before. It twice before, so it's not out the realm. And his people are known for doing that. Look at fucking Josh McDaniel, who had a press conference. Oh, I'm going to the Colts. I'm going to the Colts.
Have you seen Bill Belichick's 24-year-old girlfriend?
Oh yeah, she's hot as fuck.
I mean, you can't deny the man's ability to draw young talent.
I mean, I understand that completely, but it was a shocker when I heard that he accepted a job there because I'm actually a North Carolina fan for basketball and whatnot. Now I'm going to keep a close eye on the football team. I don't think there'll be a powerhouse. I think that there'll be a top 4, maybe top 5 team in a couple years if he sticks to it, like you said, Dees. But he's 73 years old. How much longer does he got to go? Does anybody know what his contract was?
5 years.
5 years.
So 78 years old. I mean,
how about UNC's last 2 head coaching hires? Retread Mac. What's his name? Mac
Brown.
Mac Brown, 72 years old, and now you're hiring a 73-year-old Bill Belichick.
But do you think that?
But why?
Oh, and
did you find somebody half that age?
Well, I mean, maybe they looked and didn't find the right candidates for it. I don't know. Maybe they're trying to make a statement and become a powerhouse. I don't know, but
that senior citizens can still hold a job?
Well, we'll see what he can do. I mean, they're keeping the old people working. Chipper,
you should Rich Rod at West Virginia, retread at however old he is, so senior citizens can still hold a job.
Well, that holds hope for you, Chipper.
The best thing that he's got going for him, and he's building his program on this basis, is that I can get you ready for the NFL. I'm going to run this program like a minor league NFL team. So if you want to get to the league, come play for me, and I'll show you how to do it.
And then doesn't he have a general manager that was with him in
Lombardi, Mike Lombardi?
Yeah,
who went with him? Mike Lombardi. I heard he got a GM. I didn't know it was Mike Lombardi.
Yeah,
Mike Lombardi,
the general manager.
Yeah, but it's a lot easier said than done. Wanting to run like an NFL type system or operation at a college, and a lot of these kids aren't going to be nearly NFL caliber.
Yeah, I mean, we're not probably 10%, maybe even 5% of the roster would have a chance in the NFL.
Right.
But for him to go there, that's kind of cool as a kid. Like if I had a kid and they were going to college and North Carolina was calling, you get to fucking go play for a 7-time Super Bowl winning head coach, probably the greatest coach of all time in any sport. And I think he wants to fucking surpass Saban. I really do.
Keep in mind, this is a different college football than what we're used to, though. Like money is involved now. Players, they are getting paid.
And Saban fucking hates the way that it is. Did you hear? He fucking hates it.
Yep.
Now, what they do with the salary cap and regulating NIL remains to be seen, but it could happen. He could literally turn North Carolina with transfers and all that stuff. They could literally turn North Carolina into a national championship team by coming into next season. Will it happen? I doubt it, but it is possible. There are enough players out there in the transfer portal. that say, "Hey, I'm a superstar here at Valdosta State, whatever." Just pulled that name out of my ass, but they could literally turn it into a powerhouse tomorrow if done right. And there's enough, I got to think there's enough money in the alumni of North Carolina that they can throw all kinds of deals their way. And that's why I think the NCAA needs to quickly get a grasp on how money is going to be spent on players, or it's going to come down to the same handful of teams always being the top teams because they're the teams that are spending the money.
I can think of at least one North Carolina alum that has a boatload of money that'd probably be more than happy to help him out.
Yes,
Who would that be?
the single greatest basketball player of all time, bar none.
And part owner of 2311 race team for NASCAR.
Oh, Michael Jordan, the GOAT.
Uh-huh.
The
Yes.
GOAT.
Okay. I was a little worried that was going to start a fight with you Cleveland boys, but
Why would it start a fight with me when you have talent that's put on the court or the field or the ice rink?
I wasn't worried. I wasn't worried about Chipper, but I'm not sure your age, but you might be in that LeBron generation. I just wanted to make sure that there was.
Fuck no.
Okay.
I'm happy that he brought a championship to Cleveland. I celebrated it, but I feel bad for the Cleveland fans that had Brad Daugherty, Mark Price, Larry Nance, Craig Elo, Ron Harper, and didn't win a championship because Michael Jordan.
Yeah.
Rod
It was
Williams.
a very talented team.
And Michael Jordan was the one person that single-handedly knocked them out every fucking year.
Yeah.
Every year.
That was probably that Cleveland team back then when all those guys were in their prime was probably the most complete, well-rounded team in the NBA, but they just couldn't beat Mike.
And for those watching, you just tuned into the Steel City 3-point shots.
I mean, we're talking about greatest. But anyway, let's get back to football here. So what else do you think, Shepard, that the Steelers got to do today to pull off this victory? I know we talked about offensively.
Turnovers.
What about defense? We're pretty good getting the ball.
Turnovers would be nice.
How many do you think we need?
Do we need? The more, the better. I think we'll get.
Come out positive.
Yeah, we'll get at least one. I think we'll get at least one.
I don't think Dante Jackson's playing neither.
No, he's Jackson is.
Sean Elliott is.
Or
not.
Elliott's not.
Yeah.
Elliott is out, so that means KZ is going to be the starter.
Yeah, I just looked at it a little bit ago because that's who I was wondering if he was officially out or not. But yeah, Deshaun
As long
Elliott
as we
is
don't
out.
get to see fucking James Pierre over there. Please, him or Cam.
They only have 8 picks as a team.
That's all we have?
No, Philly.
Oh, Philly. Oh, okay. Well, you never know. Your boy Terrell Evans can get in there and play.
He's not there.
8 picks and 7 fumble recoveries. So my math degree tells me that equals 15 on the plus side.
Speaking of D's, I got to call him out about something. He
Uh-oh.
fucking picked the Bears last week. What happened to the Bears? Listen, no excuse. You talk.
No, I don't have an excuse. They got absolutely destroyed in that first. That was the worst half of football I think I've ever seen. My 1993 senior girls powder puff team probably could have put up more fucking yards against the Niners than the Bears did. That was absolutely atrocious. I don't know. I think I was cooking or something, and I was like, "Oh, let me check this game out." And as I turned it on, they showed total yards first half. San Francisco like 312, Chicago 2. Like, oh fuck.
And what was
One of my buddies who commented in the stream last week changed his pick in his Pick'em league because of what I was saying. He changed it from San Francisco to fucking Chicago. So I had to send him a text message and apologize. Like, I'm sorry, man.
Oh, I was giving you shit in the chat about that, dude.
Oh, they were horrible.
You pick Chicago. Don't fucking pick Chicago as long as Caleb Williams is the quarterback. Do not pick Chicago.
He must have been smoking or cooking something when he decided.
Well,
to pick
like I said, new coaches, if you go back over the last 10 15 years, when an interim coach comes in, they tend to win a lot of their first games. Now after that, yeah, all bets are off, but I don't know, it seems like players tend to want to make a statement when they get their coach fired, so they win that first game. A lot of times it happened last year with Carolina when they were absolutely dog shit. And yeah, I fell into the trap. No excuses. They got boat raced. I'm an idiot.
We will have to see. We will have to see if you're picking them later on in the show, because I hope you don't pick them back-to-back weeks.
I don't even remember who they play, but I doubt it. I don't think they'll win another game the way that, you just got absolutely embarrassed after you got your coach fired. I think they are in full on fuck it mode and going to tank as much as humanly possible. I don't care who they play. I don't think they'll win another game.
Hey, I messaged you guys in the message the other day. I looked at one of those way too early mock drafts. They have us taking Emeka Egbuka from Ohio State. What do you guys think? Would you take him?
Yes.
If he's there, I don't think he'll be there.
Are you talking first round?
Yeah. 25th overall.
Chipper, you're a big guy, not for offensive running backs, wide receivers, or whatnot. Get the line.
Well, we obviously need wide receiver.
Hold on.
We don't need offensive linemen, obviously.
So you can't go address a wide receiver in free agency? You can't do that? Who's better than him?
Okay. What as of right
T. Higgins.
T.
Higgins.
As of right this minute, who would you draft in the first round? What position would you draft in the first round?
Offensive line.
Why? We don't need one.
Why don't you?
No. Defensive line.
I would consider.
Okay, defense.
I would consider that.
It's for me. If a superstar caliber wide receiver is there, which I don't tend to believe, then my next two are either going to be defensive tackle, because while I think Cam certainly has the ability to play next season, you have to start planning for life after Cam.
Mm-hmm.
And then my next pick would be if one is available, a corner. Build, because we've got youth everywhere on this team. You get another corner opposite Joey Porter, and even if Trice works out to what people think he could be, if we can build an absolutely elite secondary, great. But my first pick, if there is one there, is going to be DT.
I wouldn't hate that. No, I absolutely. Yeah. We definitely need to address wide receiver, and I'm not banking everything on the fact that we're going to get T. Higgins or
I'm not banking
or somebody of that caliber.
I'm not
agency.
I think that they'll make another big splash next year.
That little message that you sent me down the mock draft rabbit hole, so I started running a bunch of simulations, and I actually had 3 of them come up with the same pick. And if this happens, I'm going to assassinate somebody, and that was they had us taking Jalen Milroe at number 27. I will fucking absolutely lose my shit. That's my point.
Why?
That's my fucking point. I mean, I could see us going quarterback if shit hits the fan in March and we lose both Russ and Justin, but I don't want Jalen Milroe. I think he is a product of the system. No.
Well, I just know one thing. We're not getting Deshaun Watson because the Browns came out and said that he will be their starting quarterback for 2025.
That's the best news I've heard all day.
That is. All the Browns fans are fucking in an uproar on Twitter about it. They're fucking pissed off.
Yeah,
so
well,
that's
they're idiots. You have to just bite the bullet and eat it and go get your next quarterback. Well, the answer is not Jameis, and it damn sure isn't Deshaun.
Well, I think that's what I brought up in the other show to our Browns fan on that show is if you're the Browns, why not just eat that whatever $46 million and just let him go?
Because Chipper, I'm going to tell you why.
Just be done with him.
I think we talked about this too on that show. They don't want to. Haslam doesn't want to take the blame for making the mistake. So somebody's going to be the fall guy for this decision. And ultimately, whether people like to believe it or not, it may be Kevin Stefanski. It may be.
And I think his cap hit is like $73 million next year.
Yes. And there has been talk around the Browns organization and from people that are on 92.3 The Fan, Daryl Ryder. There's people inside the building that does not want Watson to come back.
Right.
Was told that it was the head coach. So who are you going to stick with as an organization? The owner, Jimmy likes to run things like Jerry Jones, and that's going to be his downfall because he don't fucking listen. You can see that the product that you put on the field that you spent $230 million on guaranteed is not living up to what you paid for.
And the fan base who pays your money
Booed him when he got injured.
doesn't want him back.
So somebody's going to have to be the fall guy for it, Chipper. And again, I think it may be Stefanski. And as soon as Stefanski's fired, within 4 to 5 days, he will have another head coaching job. He definitely will.
I agree with that.
And for people to say that Stefanski is going to stay around and have another year with Watson, if at the end of the season they don't fire him, if I'm Stefanski, I'm walking to Haslam and I'm telling him it's either me or it's Watson. You choose. And if you choose Watson, my resignation will be on your table within the next 4 minutes. I'm done.
I mean, as far as we're concerned, let them keep being the team that
Yeah.
team that they are.
Agreeable. But I think it's appalling and idiotic from the franchise to come out and say that he's going to be the starting quarterback for next year. He's not liked. People are even digging so deep on his Instagram that he's out with his girlfriend or his fiance on a vacation when he should be on the sidelines with his team. They're so fucking pissed off about that. They're so mad about that. Why?
Well, okay. No, well, I'm going to say the only thing is he's still part of the team, and he should be at the facility or whatever to support the team. But on the other hand,
Mike Holmgren wasn't there.
I'm just pointing out.
No. And you're 100% right, Chipper, and I agree with you. But I mean,
you see other players that have broken legs or whatever showing up at the stadium. I mean, shit, Aiden Hutchinson, he may not have been on the sideline, but he was up in the suite with his leg up.
Well, you know why? That's a different culture there. Dan Campbell's not going to play that shit. That's why.
Well, there are lots of injured players that still show up on the sideline, or at least at the facilities and stuff to support their team. That's the only thing I can. That's the only thing I'm.
Well, it's very agreeable, Chipper, and it's something that they got to look at. But again, not our fucking
not our concern.
Not our concern or our problem. That's their concern, their problem, and they continue to run an organization the way that they're running it.
And it helps us out a lot.
It'll never get anywhere.
Them and the Bengals keep running the organization the way you are, and we'll be fine.
Yeah, well, there you have it.
We'll be first or second in the division every year.
Yep. So let's get to our NFL picks here, and we will start off with the man who puts his picks in at the last second, and he does it just to piss me off.
Do I really?
You do, Chipper.
Are you sure?
I'm 1,000% sure.
So
then he'll pick games after they're already played and be
True.
like, it is. You picked the Thursday night game after it was already played.
I did not.
You did.
I sent it in at 6 o'clock.
Okay, I'll let you slide.
So last week, D's
Sucked.
thinks was fine pick of the Chicago Bears beating the San Francisco 49ers. Was low man on a totem pole with 7 correct picks. Dave had 9 correct picks. Ryan had 10 correct picks. And the leader in the clubhouse yet again was yours truly with 11 picks.
And he gets his picks in after the
Come on,
games are played.
no round of applause or anything? So this week we have the Thursday night game was the Rams at 49ers. We all, believe it or not, had the Raiders. I'm sorry, Rams. LA Rams and the 49ers. We all had the Rams. Next up, Chiefs at the Browns. Shockingly, we all have Kansas City. Not so much. I thought maybe D's would have taken the team from Huntington Bank Field.
No, but I will say this: I won't be 100% shocked if Cleveland wins this game. But I
said
KC is going to win.
Next up, Bengals at the Titans. We all have the Bengals. Quite honestly, this is where this week's picks were kind of boring because we all pretty much took the same up to except for a couple of games here.
Mm-hmm.
Washington at New Orleans. We all took Washington. Baltimore at the Lonely Giants. All took Baltimore. Cowboys and Panthers. This one I was kind of tossed up on, quite honestly.
Me too. In fact, that's the game that I was kind of teetering on even changing today. But
Cowboys and the Panthers.
Yeah.
Panthers have been playing well the last few weeks, even though they haven't won them. Like they, for all rights and purpose, or they could have beat Philly last week.
We're starting a quarterback for the
Bryce Young,
for Dallas.
Cooper Rush.
They're not.
Cooper
What are
Rush.
they doing with fucking Trey Lance?
Cooper Rush was number 2, so they started him. But we all took Dallas except for Ryan. Ryan did take Carolina.
Yeah,
Well,
Dallas is better on the road, so I'm gonna go ahead and still ride with them.
And then we have the Jets at the Jaguars. Here we had a split. Dave and Ryan took Jacksonville. Dees and I took the Jets.
I'm just gonna keep picking the fucking Jets until they win a game.
Another reason why I took the Jets is because the Jets have a good defense and Jacksonville's offense is horrible. So next up, Dolphins at Texans. Again, a mixed bag. Dave and Dees have Houston. Me and Ryan took Miami.
Miami struggles on the road. That's the only reason I'm going with Houston, and Houston is due to actually look like a decent team again. So
Houston's been struggling too, and I'm sure Tua will throw for like 300 some yards against that defense.
he's been on fire since he came back, and because I picked Miami, I'm sure Houston's going to hang 60 on him.
that's never happened before.
Colts at Broncos. We all took the Broncos. Bills at Lions. This kind of surprised me. We all took Detroit. I thought somebody would have taken a shot at Buffalo.
Listen, I wanted to take Buffalo because I'm a Josh Allen fan, but fucking Detroit's just too fucking good.
Detroit at home, man. There's just something, I don't know. They turn something magical on when they're at home.
They may have jinxed herself today too, because they painted the line in the middle of the field black for today.
Right. I know their black uniforms are fucking tough looking.
Yeah.
They are. That's why they painted them black. Or
Yeah,
painted the lion black.
yeah, I
And
do like that uniform when they bust it out.
There's a lot of African American people who are on Twitter who are fucking pissed off about that. So
I'm pissed that this game and the Steelers game are at 4:25 because I won't be able to watch both at the same time.
why? Don't you got 2 TVs?
Yeah, but they're in separate rooms.
So bring the TV out of the other room and set it up.
I'm going through all that. If I want to try to watch both, I'll watch the Steelers on the TV and watch the other game on my phone here.
I got a laptop that sits right next to my recliner, and I always put the ticket on that if the Steelers aren't on regular TV, which we pretty good streak here lately of being on here.
Yeah, right. Patriots at Cardinals. We all took the Cardinals. Tampa Bay at the Chargers. Shockingly, we all took the Chargers. I thought somebody would have taken Tampa Bay
Where are they playing at?
Los Angeles.
That's why.
Green Bay at Seattle. Ryan took Seattle. The rest of us took Green Bay.
I could see that going that way, though.
Sure, I could too.
Just depends which Seahawk team shows up.
Right. Bears at Vikings.
Vikings. Don't ever pick the fucking Bears. Pick the Vikings.
Dave, Chipper, and Ryan took Minnesota, and I've had D's on here taking Chicago again.
No, I'm picking the Vikings twice here.
D's, if you pick Chicago back-to-back weeks and
Wouldn't happen.
You're
No.
not allowed to pick again.
No.
No, he took Minnesota. Falcons at Raiders. We all took the Falcons. And last but not least, our Pittsburgh Steelers at Philadelphia. We have a split thing here. We have me and D's taking Philadelphia, Dave and
That
Ryan
hurts.
in Pittsburgh.
What do you think the final score will be? Real quick, Chipper.
24-14 Philadelphia.
24-14. So they win
No,
by
I'm
10.
going to throw in a field goal. 24-17.
All right, D's, your final thoughts on the
That's
final
funny
score?
because in my head all week, I've had the number 23-16 in my head.
Yeah, we're gonna have at least 1 or 2 field goals.
Yeah, it's the battle of the streaks. Us not being able to win in Philly and Russ never losing to Philly. And I believe Russ is the one that loses out today.
I personally think it's going to be 20-17 Steelers. Boswell wins the game on a game-ending field goal.
Game ending.
Correct.
Okay. So you're saying the last second
Yep.
game ending.
Game-winning field goal.
Okay.
20-17 Steelers somehow, some
Well,
way pull it
from
off.
your lips to God's ears, but
Yeah,
Hey,
I won't be mad at it.
hell no.
I've been calling
no.
shots the last couple weeks. D said last week when I told him Scotty Miller was going to play, he looked at me like I was crazy.
Yeah, I didn't think he was going to be out there. And not only did he play, he had 3 catches.
All right, guys, we will see you next week after the show. And maybe after Steelers victory, me and D's might jump on and talk some Pittsburgh Steelers football, but we have to hurry up and get off over there because then it's the season finale of Yellowstone.
Oh, goddamn right it is. Oh,
So, yeah. So, all right, everybody, have a good Sunday and
peace.
have a good week.
Go Steelers.
Here we go.